Respected Professor Balram Paniji, Dean of Colleges, University of Delhi, our chief guest of the day, Professor ADN Vajpayee ji, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Atal Bihari Vajpayee University, Bilaspur, Chhattisgarh, our eminent speaker of the day, and Professor P.K. Ahluwalia ji, President, Indian Association of Physics Teacher, Professor Kedar Singh ji, Dean SPS, all other my colleagues from JNU and IAPT, all the attendees and dear participants. Good morning to all of you. Finally, today we have gathered here for the online lecture, that is the seventh and the final lecture of our lecture series on NEP 2020 Implementation Challenges and Path Ahead, which is being organized by School of Physical Sciences, Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi, and Indian Association of Physics Teacher. So on behalf of all the organizing committee members, I welcome you on this seventh and final lecture. So today is very important day for us as an Indian. We are celebrating our Hindu Navvarsh. I wish you happy Hindu New Year, and may this year be brings peace, prosperity, and success to your life. So education is the mother of leadership, and National Education Policy 2020 re-establishes teachers at all levels as the most respected and essential member of our society, because they truly shape the new generation of the Indian citizen. And keeping in mind the importance of the national education policy in our educational system, so we are taking some particular aspect of national education policy through our lecture series. And for the information of our chief guest and the eminent speaker, we have already organized 6 lectures in this lecture series in the past 6 Saturday by eminent speakers. And till date, we have covered the topic like role of teachers in implementation of NEP for higher education. Will NEP 2020 make science learning a real exploration? NEP a game changer in online learning? NEP 2020 as it stands today? Will NEP make choice-based credit system a reality across India? And roadmap for implementation of NEP 2020. So today also we are fortunate to listen on very interesting topic on NEP, which is learning outcome. What does it mean to a learner, teacher, and examination bodies? And main speaker for today's talk is respected Professor ADN Vajpayee ji, who is with us. So starting today's event, I invite first of all the Professor Kedar Singh, Dean SPS, for his welcome address and telling us the purpose of the lecture series. Professor Kedar Singh ji, please.
Thank you, Manish. सबसे पहले विक्रम संवत 2079 की हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं और बधाई। माँ दुर्गा से प्रार्थना करता हूं कि हम सभी को शक्ति प्रदान करें। नमस्कार to all. On the behalf of School of Physical Sciences and down, I welcome you in 7th or last lecture of this series on NEP 2020 implementation, challenges, and path ahead. As you know, this lecture series is jointly organized by School of Physical Sciences JNU and Indian Association of Physics Teachers. For this, I am very, very thankful to Professor P.K. Ahluwalia and his team for starting such type event with School of Physical Sciences JNU. Thank you, Professor Ahluwalia, because due to his this event possible. Now I welcome and thanks Professor Balram Pani, Dean of Colleges, for its gracious presence and considering and consenting for the presidential remark. Welcome, sir, to in this lecture series. I am grateful to Professor ADN Vajpayee, Vice Chancellor, Atal Bihari Vajpayee University, Bilaspur, for accepting our invitation to deliver a lecture on learning outcome. What do these mean to a learner, teacher, and examination bodies? Welcome, sir, in today's event. This is a very good topic. Then we will understand about NEP. I also welcome and thank to organizing team for this lecture series. They are working hard to make it success, especially Professor Manish Kumar and his team. They are working to make it success. At last, I welcome my colleagues, faculty members, participants for attending this lecture series regularly. As you know, and also Professor Manish said, Professor Vajpayee is very good speaker. Today he will today we will listen his thoughts. I hope entire lectures of this series is helpful to understand the vision of NEP 2020 for education. Once again, I welcome you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor
Manish,
Kedar Singh ji. Yes.
Yes,
Thank you, Professor Kedar Singh ji, for your welcome address. So going ahead, let us invite now Professor P.K. Ahluwalia ji, who will address us about the activities of IAPT and especially the coming activities. Professor P.K. Ahluwalia. Ahluwalia sir, are you here? Sir, you are muted. Please unmute first. Sir, you are muted. Still you are muted, sir. Ahluwalia sir. No, still muted.
Manish, I think there is some technical.
Yes.
glitch.
Okay,
So
so
then,
we will take Ahluwalia sir later. And
तो बना देंगे तो शायद हो जाएगा. Make him host.
No, host can unmute also.
Yes, I think Manish.
no, he is co-host. I think there is some problem in his device. So okay, let's we will take him. Yes, sir, you are audible. Now you are audible. Fine, sir.
Oh, okay.
Sorry for all these single glitches.
Okay, thank you, Professor Ahluwalia.
And I have an immense pleasure to welcome Professor A.D.N. Vajpayee. He is so much known to me. We have been under his guidance in Himachal Pradesh University for 6 years, where he in fact changed the academic atmosphere of the university itself. And I think there were many things which were launched under his leadership in the university. Sir, I would also like to welcome Professor Pani, who is here with us. Professor Pani, thank you for your gracious presence in this meeting. On behalf of IAPT, I welcome all the audience which is present today. We are also live on the YouTube, and that is because of a very good teamwork which organizers have really done. Sir, I would like to say a few words about Indian Association of Physics Teachers. Indian Association of Physics Teachers is about 36 years old organization, and we have around 9,000 members across the country from schools, colleges, and the universities, and also from research institutes. We are a grassroots level organization, and we have very innovative outreach programs. We reach out to the schools students, we reach out to the college students, we reach out to university students, and we reach out to the teaching community of the country. Sir, I'm glad to tell you that IAPT was also instrumental in launching Indian Association of Maths Teachers, Indian Association of Chemistry Teachers, and Indian Association of Biology Teachers. And our founder, Professor D.P. Khandelwal, was instrumental in getting all these things in place, I would say, single-handedly within a year of the launching of the IAPT itself. We publish a bulletin also, which has been coming regularly for the last 36 years. Every month we actually bring that out. We have a wonderful stage show program also, in which teachers and the researchers, they come together and share both online and offline their activities. This is again a kind of a innovative program. So we have also been conducting National Standard Examination in Physics, National Graduate Examination in Physics, and we have been having, before COVID, more than 1 lakh students participating in these two programs. And it is our flagship program. And we have a very good question bank also, which is available to us. There is another thing which is very, very innovative about our organization is this, that we are running a program called Anveshika, which is basically run by Professor S.C. Verma, who was recently given Padma Shri also, where he trains these teachers to innovate on the experiments also. So these are some of the highlights of Indian Association of Physics Teachers. We have 22 regional councils spread throughout the length and breadth of the country, and each council is very, very active. This particular joint program, which we are doing with JNU, is organized by JNU, School of Physical Sciences, and Regional Council 1, which is made up of Delhi and Haryana. Sir, we look forward to your kind words and your experience. You have been what I may say, the inspiration for launching choice-based credit system in Himachal Pradesh University. And I had earlier in one of the sessions talked about that effort which we made in Himachal Pradesh University. Once again, sir, I welcome you. I welcome Professor Pani also, and I welcome all my colleagues from School of Physical Sciences and also from Regional Council and from the IAPT fraternity also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Ahluwalia for your remarks on Indian Association of Physics Teacher. And now I invite Dr. Vijay Kumar Goyal ji from SPS GNU to introduce the chief guest of the day. Dr. Vijay.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Thank you, Professor Maniji, for giving me this opportunity to introduce the very well-known and chief guest of today's webinar, the 7th and last meeting of online lecture series on NEP 2020, which is jointly organized by SPS GNU and IAPT. It's always a great pleasure for me to introduce the chief guest for today's program, Professor Balram Paniji. He's a very well-known personality and doesn't actually need an introduction. We all know him as the Dean of Colleges of Delhi University. But since it's a responsibility given to me, so I'll just briefly summarize a few of his achievements from a very long list, I must say. Professor Paniji has been principal of Bhaskaracharya College of Applied Sciences, BCAS, for a long time. Besides this, he has been given the additional responsibility of some of the most important administrative positions of University of Delhi. Given his background of exemplary work, he remained the director of campus of Open Learning, University of Delhi, and most importantly, the Dean of Colleges, University of Delhi. He has a strong educational background. He did his master's in chemistry from Sambalpur University, Odisha, followed by MPhil and PhD in environmental sciences from JNU, New Delhi. He has more than 25 years of active teaching and research experience in the varied fields of science like environmental science, chemistry, polymer science, biological, and analytical instrumentation. He is actively involved in the research as evident from his long list of publications in national and international publications of high recognition. Professor Pani has successfully completed 3 innovation projects funded by University of Delhi and 2 projects funded by BRNS and DST. He has been awarded with the certificate of most promising innovation for one of his innovation projects of University of Delhi for outstanding research. Professor Balram Pani has supervised 2 MPhil, 2 PhD, and 1 research associate students. Authored 19 books. He authored 19 books, some of which have been
Vijay, you are muted. Vijay, you are muted. Fine now.
Since when I was muted, I didn't touch the screen. I don't know how it happened.
Continue, please.
Professor Balram Pani has supervised 2 MPhil, 2 PhD, and 1 research associate students. He authored 19 books, some of which have even been adopted by several universities, engineering and science colleges as part of their curriculum. Another great achievement as an educator and knowledge provider is he has delivered various invited lectures and chaired various sessions in national and international conferences and seminars. Professor Pani is also the coordinator of various committees formed by University of Delhi and other institutions. Professor Pani is the life member of various academic societies like Indian Science Congress Association, International Association of Engineers, Indian Chemical Society, and Green Chemistry, to name a few. It is my own personal experience, like many other teachers of University of Delhi, that Professor Pani has touched many hearts the way he has handled and resolved the issues of colleges and teachers of University of Delhi. It's always a pleasure to have you here with us, sir. Professor Pani, sir, thank you for accepting our request, even at a very short notice. Thank you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Vijay Goelji. And very good morning to you all. And today is the new year for our own Indian system and culture and tradition. And because of the Hindu, we're celebrating the New Year's today. So that's why, first of all, I congratulate you on the New Year's. Happy New Year. Thank you. And Professor Kedarnath Singh ji, the Dean, SPS JNU, Professor P.K. Ahluwalia ji, the President, Indian Association Physics Teacher, and Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, that is Atal Bihari Vajpayee University, Bilaspur, Chhattisgarh. And he is a very eloquent speaker, and everybody is eager to learn something from him. And so whenever he speaks, he just speaks in that way. Means he has the capability to binding all the audience together. And my dear colleagues and my alma maters of the Jainites and attendees. First of all, it is all about the NEP. that is the implementation and the challenges and the path ahead. Means whenever you will say that it is the NEP 2020, means much about, you have already talked about the NEP 2020. Now it is the time of the implementation. And means whenever it will come to the faculty, just like the professors and teachers of the universities, if there is any challenges, they don't take it as challenges, they will take it as the opportunity. Means they have the capability and capacity to convert these challenges into the opportunity. These challenges means they are planning in such a meticulous way so that they will have to have, first identify what are the problems. They will first of all, they identify the problems and they are capable to solving the problems. This is the beauty of the professors, because professors are knowledgeable. Means the knowledge means which is transferring to the students to shape up the future of the students. So that's why NEP 2020, this policy particularly has opened up the very wide range of opportunity and to the system of the higher educations. Earlier, we didn't have that type of opportunity, and many students, due to lack of something, means whether it is the economy, whether it is due to the remote area, or they are not, because of the ignorance, whatever it is, they are not getting that education. So right now, this NEP will be providing such type of opportunity in and in every field. So that's why the NEP is a great thing. And if we take it at the right time, then definitely it will be a great asset to our country. And this is the many institutions. Now they are running for the implementations. And in implementation, always means since it is with collaboration of the physics teachers. In physics, it is said that, okay, in the reversible system, always the efficiency is more. And in the reversible system, it occurs many steps. So whenever the NEP, it has many steps, and in that way, in the reversible way, means that is, if there is something wrong in somewhere else, you will take that guidance or advice from the others, and then it will be rectified. And here in NEP 2020, the beautiful thing is that multiple exit and entry. And whenever there is a multiple exit and entry, means how it will, whenever you will implement it, how it will be successful. Means suppose, for example, somebody may say that, okay, after 1 year, if somebody will exit, then what type of job he or she will be getting? Because 1 year course means nobody will give them jobs. But here in the NEP, it has given the opportunity to provide, that is the skill development. That is the skill development section. It is there, and our own courses there, and the value-added courses are there. So these are, means whenever the one or student, if he or she is completing 1 year with having some skill development knowledge, then definitely he will be getting the job in the job market. But earlier, this type of things was not there. So therefore, the students, those who are dropping out in midway, they are nowhere, because they were. But right now, the NEP is giving that opportunity. So this multiple exit and entry, it is the beautiful thing. Another one, it is the languages. In the regional languages, they can read and they can learn something. Because in the engineering section, medical section, and the agricultural section, there is no. Because here, only in the science section, particularly, means it is the physics. Physics teachers are here. Means here there is no books, no good books in their regional languages. It is only in English. Means whenever in the NEP 2020 is giving an opportunity to have your own regional languages. You just see in UP where it is the Jugaad technology. Means how? Means where they have learned it. Means these are the skill development area. Means these things we can implement it. Means whatever we can do in the remote areas, and here the NEP will cross all the type of boundaries. There is no geographical boundary restrictions, no language barriers, no language barrier restrictions. Means these are no economical barrier restrictions. Means these restrictions have already been wiped out. Means therefore, then definitely it will be a very, very success. And if this is the one opportunity, we should not miss it. And definitely at any cost, at the right time, we should implement it. And we are trying for that one. That's why the professors like you, we are going on for one after one, that the workshops were going on and the conferences and the seminars are there doing so because they will give some awareness. And the eminent speaker, you have called some eminent personalities because in the 2 days, means you have called many resource persons. They delivered their goods to the audience so that they will say that, okay, this is the after the implementation, then definitely it will be a great asset to our country. Because whenever there is a changes, there is something will happen, but it is in our mindset. But these changes, it is for good only. And always, if you think positive, then definitely the outcome will be positive. And you are the physics students and physics personalities, and definitely it better means in what direction you will, so that the efficiency and the smooth running of the NEP will be taking place, better. So now we are eagering to listen our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Professor ADN Bajpayee. We are eagering for listening to him. So I am not taking much time, and you have invited, and I am always happy to come with my alma mater. And again, I giving you the best wishes on the New Year's Day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for coming to your alma mater. And yes, you are right. We have talked a lot about NEP, and these days we are facing the implementation challenges of NEP. And yes, you are also right. The teachers in our education systems are capable of converting these challenges into opportunities. NEP, if it is implemented in the right time, it will be a great asset to our country, as per your statement. The most beautiful thing of NEP is the multiple exit and entry. And with the skill development knowledge, the student can take job if he is going to be exit at any level. Language freedom in NEP will also make it easy to learn and understand the concept of any particular subject. So thank you very much for your words. And going ahead, so let me invite now Professor Ram Sagar Mishra ji from SPS JNU. He's a professor here with us. Please come and invite and introduce our eminent speaker of the day, Professor ADN Bajpayee ji. Professor Ram Sagar Mishra.
Thank you, Professor Manish, and respected Professor ADN Bajpayee sir, Professor Balram Pani, Professor PK Ahluwalia ji, and Dr. Vijay Goyal, and Professor Kedar Singh ji, the Dean School of Physical Science. First of all, I wish you all a very happy Indian New Year and now Samvat 2079. And it's my immense pleasure to introduce the chief speaker for today's, the Professor ADN Bajpayee. He is currently Vice Chancellor at Atal Bihari Vajpayee University, Bilaspur, Chhattisgarh. And he has several outstanding credentials with his name. He is currently the president of Indian Economic Association because he is a professor of economics. And he is also the chairman of High Power Task Force Committee on the National Education Policy, Government of Madhya Pradesh. He is a member of Academic Council of National Defense Academy, Pune, Maharashtra, since 2021. And he is a member of Board of Management, Institute of Advanced Studies in Education. And he is also a member of Academic Council of Pataliputra University, Patna. And he is the patron Alumni Association of Himachal Pradesh University, Shimla, where he has served as a Vice Chancellor. And he has been a Vice Chancellor at several places. I think this is his 4th or 5th place where he is serving as a Vice Chancellor. Earlier, he was a Vice Chancellor of Himachal Pradesh University, Samar Hill and Shimla. And he was also Vice Chancellor in the past at Awadh Pratap Singh University, Rewa, which is commonly named as Rewa University. And he was also the Vice Chancellor of Mahatma Gandhi Chitrakoot Gramoday Vishwavidyalaya Chitrakoot in Madhya Pradesh. And He is honorary secretary and treasurer of Indian Economic Association. He was a member of Central Advisory Board on Education Committee on University Reforms, the Ministry of Human Resource, then Ministry of Human Resource and Development, Government of India, during 2012 and 13. And he was a president of Madhya Pradesh Economic Association, Bhopal, and he was also president of Rashtriya Samaj Vigyan Parishad, New Delhi. And those of you are from the
I think
social
it is
science background.
sufficient, Ram Sagarji. It is sufficient.
Sir, so there are few experiences.
I'll start feeling deficient if you speak more about me.
Okay, sir. So just give me 1 minute more. So few things I should highlight. He actually total research experience is having this almost more than 45 years, and he, as I mentioned, he has several administrative positions at and several universities, and he has supervised 29 PhD students, 25 MPhil, and he has many academic visit abroad. Okay, many countries, and few of them to name like United Kingdom. And in United Kingdom, he visited the Imperial College London, Oxford University, Cambridge, South, and then another countries like Thailand, Portugal. There's many more countries he has been visited for the academic purpose. And he was a visitor nominee, like president nominee, and for the University Court, University of Delhi, and several other universities. So there's actually long list. And he has published more than 11 books, 20 editorial contributions, 11 monographs, and 24 papers, and 62 papers in journals, and 35 presented in national and international conferences. And he got several scholarships and awards. And Kautilya West Economic Award, Vivekanand Seva Alankarans, there are few to name, but he has several awards. With this, I would like to request Professor Edian Bajpai to grace us with his experience on the national education policy.
Thank you, Professor Ram Sagarji. Besides, he was reading my data, bio of Edian Bajpai also, because you are personally known to me. And actually, I disclosed one thing, Professor P.K. Ahluwalia ji, many others. Though Ram Sagar, his entire family is known to me, but I could come to know about him when he was in Oxford. And he heard one of my lecture on spirituality. Then he called me from Oxford only. कहा सर हम आपसे मिलना चाहते हैं. हमने आप बोल कहाँ से रहे? तो ऑक्सफोर्ड से. तुमने, मुझे लगा कि शिमला के आसपास का कोई एरिया होगा. तो बोले नहीं सर मैं वहीं पर ही हूँ, मैं मिलना चाहता हूँ. तो वहाँ से आए मिलने के लिए, शिमला आए. शिमला में मैंने इन्हें कुछ ज्ञान की बातें बताई, कुछ योग, उसमें स्पिरिट कल्चर पे काम कर रहा था. इनको वो ज्ञान दिया. और मैं ऑक्सफोर्ड गया तो इन्होंने मेरे लेक्चर्स काफ़ी कराए. मैं ब्रिटिश काउंसिल में भी था और एसोसिएशन ऑफ कॉमनवेल्थ यूनिवर्सिटीज़ की भी वर्ल्ड काउंसिल का मेंबर था. तो कई बार जाना पड़ता है. So I am very happy to be amidst all of you today this morning, and I am really grateful to Professor P.K. Ahluwalia ji. He was saying that I was his vice chancellor. Rather, you see, I worked with him. Whatever ideas I was floating, he was one who was carrying those ideas to the logical end. We have very good, very strong satellite. Antennas launching vehicle is equally, you see, potent, equally competent to propel our satellite to see a world. That cannot work. So the launching vehicle being led by P.K. Ahluwalia at Himachal Pradesh was so strong. Whatever ideas I wanted to float, they were brought to the logical end, and they could see the light of the success. So this Association of Physics Teachers, which has got many offshoots also, byproducts like Association of Mathematics Teachers, Chemistry Teachers, Biological Teachers, it's all credit goes to P.K. Ahluwalia ji. I am very happy to see Professor Vijay Goyal ji, who is a Dean with the School of Physical Sciences at JNU. Professor Manish Kashyap ji, who is the main architect of entire show. Balram Pani ji, whom I had this several times of interactions when I was aspiring for Vice Chancellorship of Delhi University. Everybody knows I used to talk to him on several issues how to go about. It's another matter that my friends Yogesh Singh as a Shanti C. Pandit both have joined Delhi University and JNU. This is in chronological order. I have got many other friends also whom I am seeing. One, Mr. Barilal Jain is from Rewa. Then Anil Thakur from Jharkhand, Shubhra Parma from Delhi. Then Madam Neha Yadav, who is from our own university. And then Mr. H.S. Hota, who is also from my university. Then Shazia Ali, who is a teacher of Urdu here itself. So Poonam Jain, I am seeing. I am very thankful to all of them who could see. Join Rajeshwar Pratap Prasad Singh ji is from Gaya. And certainly Professor Kedar Singh ji, who introduced the entire topic. Connecting my talk with Balram Pani ji that national education policy has got many relevant, important verticals. If they are implemented properly, there can be miracles. This national education policy could come after a long gap. I think the last education policy was launched in 1986. After a big 34 years, we could have one policy. Yesterday, I carefully listened to that episode, Pariksha Pe Charcha by Honorable Prime Minister. It was highly motivational, interactive session. Really motivational. I think most of you must have watched on DD1, in which when one boy asked any question related to new education policy, he said, no, it's not new, it's a national education policy. I too have been saying this thing since long. When people say new education policy, no, not new, it's national education policy. Because the name has been given to this policy. Earlier name was not given, so anything new baby call. When one name is given to any baby, call by that name. He rectified that particular mistake of one boy. Another thing also, in one of the questions, he replied that everything, whatever you study, it should be outcome based. I'm just quoting him in today's lecture. Whatever you do, it must have certain outcomes. Whether you are studying, whether you are doing a job, whether you are performing, any art, if you are painting something, there must be some outcome as such. So in our entire education system, we have what the learning process. Learning process, if suppose is not resulting into any outcome, then I think it will not be useful as such. When I was working in the area of economics of education, I did researches on so many fields. And one of the field was economics of education also. In that time, I was talking of functional education. Education for the sake of education itself, or education should have functional relationship with the problems of the society, problems of economy, problems of polity, problems of agriculture, industry, whatnot, inter area. So the outcome of education should be felt by the nation as a whole. Then only we can say that we are doing something good for the education for the society. So for us, mandate of this national education policy is concerned is one, to prepare good citizens, value-loaded citizens, human persons, who can cater to the several requirements of the society as such by way of having some functional relationship between education and society. And secondly, just to do so much to education so that the state of Vishwaguru, which India enjoyed long back, centuries old, that should be regained by our efforts. So I think the outcomes of our learning process should be attached with these two mandates only. One mandate, how can we develop personality of the boys and girls, the students, so that they are totally fit in the change which is society as such, and they can cater to the requirements of the society. And secondly, how can we establish ourselves as the education global superpower? This particular nomenclature I am using as has been used by the national education policy. And I have been saying that, you see, global supremacy in education. Indians had, you see, global supremacy so far as education is concerned. But that was snatched by Britishers when Britishers colonized India, not only India, but also so many countries Britain colonized. About 80 countries with the colonies of Britain. They imposed their language, they imposed their culture, they imposed their knowledge system, they imposed their methodology, they imposed pedagogy, they imposed their education structure, everything they imposed. Imposition one thing. On the other side, they crushed whatever is the best India had. India had very good education system, university system, college system, primary school, health system, culture, discipline, everything we had. We had that particular system which developed this originality, creativity amongst the minds of professors and teachers, but they crushed just to establish their supremacy. And the supremacy of the Britishers was also snatched by Americans afterwards, because they do say that Britain can have its supremacy, why not it's the Americans? But I'll tell you, my dear friend, that the supremacy of this Britain or Americans, they cannot sustain it over a long period because they do not have any indigenous pool of knowledge. They don't have that good knowledge which we are having in Vedas, in Puranas, in Mahabharata, in Ramayana, in Upanishads, in the writings of the epics of Kalidas or Bhavabuti or grammar of Panini or Bhas, Natak of Bhasi or Abhinav Gupta, Raj Shekhar, what not, descending to the lines, coming down to the Tulsi, Kabir, Guru Granth Sahib, Guru Nanak Dev, everything. We are having lakhs and lakhs of the Indian epics and literature, which, if decoded properly and scientifically validated by scientists like Manish Kashyap, Vijay Goel, and Ramsagar Mishra ji, I think we can regain our old seat of Vishwaguru, because India has got that indigenous knowledge, pool of indigenous knowledge, which no country in the world possesses. It is not me saying, it's many scientists, NASA scientists, or many scholars have been saying like this. One. So where outcome is concerned, I'll just give you just two parameters. And parameters, one is the macro aspirations and macro expectations. A micro is the aspirations, taking an individual who is a learner, who is a student. He has got certain aspirations. Aspirations, generally, from primary and secondary level, they don't aspire much. Whatever teacher teach them, they want to learn them. But our job at a primary level is to create memories by giving them good education of mathematics, good education of language, good education of some literature, some stories, some surroundings, knowledge of the surroundings, like that. Creation of memories, just to adoption and adaptation process. That's the primary school level. And just to memorize it further, just to create a strong memory in the minds of students and give some directions, open some faculties, some analytical tools like that, some dimensions are imbibed when they enter into secondary level. But at a higher level, their aspirations are properly shaped. They are focused. They want to become something in society. They want to earn something. They want to become administrative officers. They want to become, police officers. They want to become engineers. They want to become doctors. They want to become researchers. They want to become politicians. They want to become researchers. They want to go abroad. They want to join corporate world like that. They want to join media persons. So their aspirations are being shaped. They are taking shape in the minds of individual learner. So far as learning outcome is concerned, if any person is focused so far as to shape his aspirations, I think entire curriculum should be attuned towards those aspirations, and this national education policy gives immense opportunity, which Mr. Pani was talking about, that if any person wants to join some performing arts as such, and with chemistry, physics, mathematics, he can go. He should be opportuned to join performing arts because he has got that faculty also in that, and it will develop his personality in totality, isn't it? So if any boy or girl has got certain aspirations, I'm talking micro aspirations, giving this opportunity under this nation's policy, the syllabus should be attuned, number one. Teachers also should be associated to see that his aspirations are fulfilled, and entire society, entire ecosystem should also try to fulfill the aspirations of the individual student. So the learning outcome, so far as individual is concerned, it is based upon his or her own aspirations, and if he is able to achieve those outcomes, well and good, otherwise it will be difficult. Here, students shall have to work very hard. I'll quote this Honorable Prime Minister yesterday's interactive session. He was already mentioning that there should not be any tension in the minds of students when they are preparing for examinations like that. You should prepare, you should compete. Competition is not a bad thing. He was saying that competition gives you a lot of opportunity, so that if you are having some role model, you can compete with them. That's what is yesterday Mr. Prime Minister was saying. And addressing to the question of offline and online, he was saying that inner line should be properly active. Leave the offline, online. If your inner line is focused, then everything will be properly addressed. Otherwise, it will be a difficult one. So the outcome of learning of an individual will go according to the aspirations of the boys, for which I think he himself or herself shall have to work very hard. One thing. Otherwise, it will be difficult. And for hard work, course curriculum, as mentioned in your title itself, what is the role of a teacher? Teacher should also see, because it's very difficult in a system like traditional system like us, like JNU or our university like that. When we are having different types of students, different types of students may have different types of aspirations also. Their role of teacher is a bit difficult. And here we'll have to clusterize the groups of students and making different clusters. If some commonality, minimum common eligibility criteria is done. From that only groups can be formed, and from groups also special training, special education, special knowledge systems, special things can be provided. But here also, in a traditional system, we are having a different type of pedagogy and different type of examination pattern also. From this also, we'll have to see that different types of examination. The National Education Policy talks about this academic bank of credit. And academic bank of credit, different credits are earned from different institutions or different courses, and they'll be added somewhere. And after getting complete pattern, his degree or certificate or diploma will be given to him. That will have some skills also along with education performances. So what I mean to say that the role of teachers, role of examiners, everything will be in line. Everything will be in the line of the aspiration of that particular boy, because he wants certain things for himself. Coming to the macro expectations. Macro expectations are entirely may go with the lines of micro aspirations, and most of the times they don't match with the macro aspirations. The individual want to aspire as per the focuses of his family, the surroundings, the global scenario, and everything. But the macro realities goes according to the structure and culture of the country or nation as a whole. For example, India is a country of villages. So our macro reality or macro expectation is that we should get good primary school teachers. Good primary school teachers, so that students at village level should be properly educated. Now, there is a clash between, let's say, micro aspiration, and individual who is studying in a college doesn't want to go to a village. And macro expectation is that the nation wants that there should be more good primary school teachers. There should be very good, health workers, health officers, medical officers posted at village level, because India is a country of 6.5 lakh villages. India is a country of agriculture. India is a country of horticulture. India is a country of pisciculture. India is a country of forestry. India is a country of good biodiversity, big biodiversity. We are having river systems, we are having mountain systems, we are having geological resources. So these resource pool we are having, this is our structure. We have 6.5 lakh villages. Also, we are having 776 districts. We are just like village culture they are having, and about 20 metropolis cities. So entire system is concentrated in 20 metropolis cities. We are having big cities like Delhi, we are having Bombay, we are having Kolkata, we are having Bangalore, we are having Hyderabad, we are having Bhopal, Raipur, like that. So most of the things are being concentrated in this big 20 metropolis cities. Our education is concentrated there. Our health systems is also concentrated over there. Our employment is also centralized over there. Our tourism is also almost centralized over there. Everything, our administration, our judicial system is centralized over there. Capital places are also centralized in these places only. If everything is centralized, so these can cater to the micro aspirations of top 10% population of people. But what will happen to the 90% macro realities, macro expectations of the country as such? So the learning outcome should see that we should have certain targets for the country as a whole, because we require good roads for villages, good connectivity for villages as such. So good connectivity will require some good engineers. For good engineers also, now there is a rat race. For everybody is going for computer IT sector, artificial intelligence, like that. Who is coming for, you see, mechanical engineering? Who is coming for structural engineering, civil engineering? Macro reality, macro expectations that we should have good civil engineers, and there is rat race for artificial intelligence, IT, computers. So there is a big gap. So now I am coming what ought to be and what is there. So when it comes to learning outcomes there, we should see the aspirations of the individual as well as the required national priorities we'll have to decide. From national priorities, there are so many priorities, like one village is priority. Say village, we are having agriculture. For accreting productivity of agriculture, we went for this green revolution technology, in which hybrid variety of seeds, irrigation, and use of fertilizers were the main try of three inputs. Went for a green revolution as such. But this green revolution has got many bad impacts in the society. They developed malignancy because more infusion of chemical fertilizers went for malignancy in the bodies of people. And people from Punjab, everybody know that there are more cancer patients, and developed many cancer patients. And every day, the one train goes from Chandigarh to Amritsar. This is known as a cancer train itself. So how to replace it? For individual farmer, that he wants to increase productivity so that he can earn more income. And this has been instrumental for increasing income of Punjab, Haryana, Central Uttar Pradesh, and many places of this green revolution asset. But the macro reality is that we should control this cancer also, so that one system is developed. Now we are talking natural farming, organic farming. So how to switch over? Now, I am just talking exactly on the learning outcomes. So here, if the course is also concerned about the bad impacts of this green revolution technology and how to control these bad impacts by replacing, substituting it by natural farming, organic farming, like that, for which this year budget also has given very big amount. So these things can be covered in a very beautiful manner. I've just given one example. Similarly, there may be so many examples like that. In society, we are having different problems today. We are having problems related to religion. We are having problems related to caste. We are having many problems of region specific. We are having so many problems related to languages, subcaste, and many other problems. And we see that every time we are having atrocities against women also. How to solve these things? An individual wants to get success, wants a degree. How we can solve this problem of society by our education system? That should be one of the important learning outcomes. And that is possible only when we are creating good human beings. If we are unable to create these human beings by our education system, what hell we are creating these degree holders? If these degree holders are creating, becoming terrorists or anti-national persons, anti-societal persons, then I think we are not doing justice with our education system as such. So here lies the role of a teacher. Here lies the role of a teacher. My learning outcome is to create a good citizenry in the society. So teachers should teach students the value systems. What is good? What is bad? The missing links, reading between the lines, should be taught by the teacher. And examination pattern should not be only stereotype, tailor-made examination system. Should have some value judgments on the basis of the teacher can examine the students. That knowledge which he has gained out of the box, out of the walls, where he's gone to serve the society as such, where he solved the problem of society. If these systems are taken together, then only I think this mandate of national education policy will be fulfilled. Otherwise, it will be a difficult one. The learning outcome does not mean that we should remain in total isolation. Isolation means just like a coup mandu. This national education policy talks about internationalization of higher education. Well and good. To me, whatever best is available in the world, nowadays we are using IT, information technology, we are using artificial intelligence. The entire knowledge which is available in the world, we can have in one stroke. So whatever best is available in the world, that must be taught to our students here in our university system. There is no need of bringing, you see, these big universities to our place. If anything can be accepted, anything can be invited online, why should have entire infrastructure of that particular knowledge over here? That may also create several other problems. So best, whether in chemistry or physics or medicines, everything, we should try to take it from the foreign countries, but not only emulate. We'll have to add something from our own side also, so that we can Indianize that knowledge. Taking knowledge from outside does not mean that we are just totally going at the tools of foreign knowledge. If we want to Indianize, then we'll have to make a balance. We'll have to make a blending of our own knowledge and their knowledge, and see that how it can better articulate the personality of our students. If a requirement of nation is to go for more innovation, more incubation centers like that, this national education policy has come out with National Research Foundation. Under the National Research Foundation, researches are given main focus. And there are 3 types of institutions also coming. I think most of the speakers must have spoken about. We want research-based universities, which have very little component of teaching. Teaching-based university, which we have little component of researches. Then degree-granting colleges. The 3 types of institutions will be converted from all these university college systems in years to come. That is what this national education policy envisages. And this National Research Foundation, it's a very ambitious program of national education policy, in which you see researches not only coming from the university's box or college's box, outside the traditional box also. If anybody wants to go for innovation, he or she can also go for having these projects from the National Research Foundation. It's not merely the teaching community of the university college system. Any person who even teaches at a school level, intermediate level, and want to go for researches, he too can apply for this grant from National Research Foundation. But to see outcome is very much focused. Outcome of the National Research Foundation is very focused. That number 1, generation of knowledge. Generation of knowledge is one outcome of the National Research Foundation. Means whatever we do, it must generate knowledge. And knowledge generation may not be useful today's time. It may be useful for 10 years time, or 20 years after, or even 50 years after. If suppose theoretical, philosophical generation of knowledge is there, it might fructify in centuries after, as Vedas, we are using Vedas are being fructified. Knowledge of Upanishads is getting fructified today, which were written a million years back as a similar thing. Secondly, the researchers should have outcome of solving the problem of society. Society has many problems which I have just mentioned. Society is inclusive of economy, is inclusive of polity, inclusive of industry, agriculture, many. If suppose our research is problem solving, which I told my earlier words, the functional relationship between education and the societal problem. In third outcome of this National Research Foundation research is, they should formulate certain policies for the central and state governments. What are you doing by your PhD thesis? Simply if theses are just piled up in the almiras, if they are not being useful for the society by way of making policies. So this research, the outcome of this research foundation research is, should fructify in formulation of realistic policies which are useful, maybe at the ground level municipal corporation, maybe at the state level, maybe at the central level, maybe global level. So 3 outcomes are clearly delineated under this National Research Foundation like that. So what I mean to say, first time we are talking about outcomes of learning process, learning maybe of primary, second, or higher levels, or maybe you see teaching and research levels. Everything should have outcome, and outcome, as I told you, that primary level, primary, second level outcomes are entirely different, although they are connected. I don't say that they are not connected with the higher education system, because higher education system depends upon the secondary system, education system, and the quality of secondary education system depends upon the quality of primary level secondary, primary level education as well. So everything is vertically connected. There is a vertical connection and a horizontal connection is there. The national education policy has given a lot of latitude so far as making our entire education system is holistic, integrated and connected. Connecting the education system for himself and connecting education system for the society as a whole. So I began to see my lecture by this micro aspirations and macro expectations, which we call micro individuals' wishes are good. They must be fulfilled, but not at the cost of the demands of the society, needs of society, necessities of society, priorities of society as a whole. And taking the nation as a whole, nation is important, and each individual should find its proper place in the nation building. Nation building is our ultimate objective as such, for which, whether it's an individual's education or the other factors, they should just culminate into building of a nation as a whole. So if learning outcome in one word, I am asked to say, nation building is the ultimate outcome of the learning process, and everything is just contributory to that particular outcome. With these words, I close my lecture, thanking my friend Ram Sagar ji, Manish Kashyap ji, Vijay Goyal ji, and many others for having opportuned me to deliver this final day's talk. There have been many good scholars on every Sunday, every Saturday, as Professor P.K. Ahluwalia was mentioning, who came and delivered talk on national education policy. But it's high time. It's high time that we should go for implementation. We have been talking, convening conferences, dialogues, seminars. As Ram Sagar told me that I am in charge of implementing the national education policy in Madhya Pradesh. I am the chairperson of this task force committee. There, 4 years, the undergraduate program has been launched with all verticals which national education policy has given to us. But what about others? They are still just at the beginning stage, and there are certain calculations are required. As when we say by 2:35, I'll take 2 minutes more. 2035, we should have is 50% GER. People are talking GER. Why do we talk of GER? We should talk of eligibility enrollment ratio. The persons who have passed intermediate, we should have that universe. From that universe, how many persons are going to see higher education? That competition should be there. And suppose we are having 3.5 crore students at the moment, 2035, we'll have a target of 7 crore students. Ecosystem today of higher education is like that. We are having about 1,000 universities, about 15,000-20,000 colleges, about 12-13 lakh teachers, about 3.5 crore students. and 50% means about 7 crore, say, students. Then what have we planned for teaching these 7 crore students? The type of infrastructure, the college, the building, the library, the laboratory, the teachers, are we preparing towards that? If not, where will we go? So I have given that we should go for statistical progression analysis on the basis of regression analysis, so that we have year-wise, district-wise, state-wise, program-wise. We see number of students entering into the higher education system. Then only some real stories can be formulated. I think this is sufficient. Thank you, Manish. Thank you, Ram Sagarji. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir, for your excellent lecture on learning outcome of NEP. So first, let me take some questions if there are any, and then. So if you have any question, you can raise the hand. You can write in the chat box also.
Actually,
Okay, Ram Sagarji, please go with your question.
So it was a very nice and wonderful talk, very informative. And my concern, like only one query, not concern. Let's say if in the national education policy, let's say a person has done major in chemistry and then minor in history. So when he or she go for academic position, so in which subject he or she would be eligible?
Naturally major.
Major one.
Naturally major. Suppose he leaves also and want to join that major is just a specialization, isn't it? You see different levels of specialization also. At the undergraduate level, see, major will be a specialized field as such, because it's up to her. Had he wanted to go for history as a major, it means that he wants to have a special knowledge for history as such. And for postgraduates, all specialized only. Super specialization. Is it? Semi-specialization, specialization, and super specialization. Here under educational policy, people criticize that we are not having specialization. Specialization is there. It is one of the important component of our national policy. Major, Mara, this is how we do it.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Okay, sir. And another like query was from Professor Pani, he is there, or anyone can answer. Let's say if in national education policy, it's mentioned that language should not be the barrier, and we should provide the education in the language in which the students want to study. I think it's a very good idea. And if let's say person from Tamil Nadu, or the one who wants to study in Tamilian language, and he or she got the admission in School of Physical Science and wants to study physics in Tamil. So what could be the option, whether we will provide the online education or we will appoint a person who can speak the Tamilian?
It's question addressed to me or Professor Pani?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Me. You see, that national education policy is very clear that up to primary level, we want to give this education Matru Bhasha.
Primary one, okay.
Bhasha, regional languages. So I think about 90% boys and girls, they just study in their hometowns, where these mother tongues are being, the main languages of instructions. For them, there is no problem. You know that KB, Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan. In Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan also have what national, rather I see international network. They have what schools in Soviet Union, some nearby you see countries out there. They have all teachers for different subjects. I think it is good point to integrate ourselves nation-wise. If we are having some students of Tamil in Chhattisgarh, so it will be our responsibility Please come, Nehru. It will be our responsibility to find and see teachers of Tamil, isn't it? Whether online or offline, we can invite them. And if suppose any student of Chhattisgarh is there in Tamil and want to study in Chhattisgarh, so the Tamil, it will be responsibility of the Tamil teachers, Tamil institutions to connect with Chhattisgarh, so that teacher of Chhattisgarh can go offline or outline to teach Chhattisgarh over there. So I think this is the best way how can we integrate our country through our languages. So it is not a barrier. It's rather an opportunity of international integration.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, anything else?
Let me see, sir.
Professor Ahluwalia want to ask.
Yes. Professor
There is
Ahluwalia,
an-
please ask your question.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You want to add something or you want to ask, Ahluwalia?
I just want to tell something about how this is being taken care of in the present context itself. I was talking to some of the members of IAPT itself from Punjab, and Punjabi is the mother tongue of that particular state. So what they have tried to do, particularly in the context of physics, as Professor Ramsagar said, they are actually translating physics books from English to Punjabi. They have already done that exercise.
Professor Ahluwalia, just an intervention. ये ट्रांसक्रिप्ट मतलब खाली उसकी वो स्क्रिप्ट चेंज कर रहे हैं कि ट्रांसलेशन कर रहे हैं?
They are translating it.
गुरुमुखी में लिख रहे हैं कि
उर्दू में लिख रहे हैं वो?
गुरुमुखी में अंग्रेजी लिख रहे हैं कि गुरुमुखी में
तो मैं वही कहना चाह
सारी
रहा था।
समस्या शब्दों की है डॉक्टर साहब।
Sir, मैं वही कहना चाह रहा था। What they have done is they have found a middle path actually, and the middle path is they say that we don't want to deprive our students from the nomenclature of different terms in English. So they are actually trying to keep, say for example, force, they are saying is force only. Everybody understands that. So they are actually keeping all those things intact and then translating it in such a manner that if a transition is to be made at some later stage from Punjabi to English, that should come in a very easy manner. So that is the idea behind that. And I think that's a very good way of looking at this particular aspect also. And they are saying that we will provide a glossary of the Punjabi technical words and the English technical words.
I think this Raj Bhasha Ayog should come forward, and the National Education Policy talked about Indian Institute of Translation. There is one institute which is coming up that will take care of entire these issues, isn't it? So there are many friends also, like Subhash Letharji is there, and then my nephew Amulya Bajpayee and Jugal Kishore Dadechi, Anil Chaudhary. I want to welcome them as well. Yes, Manish.
So that was what I was trying to say. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Manish, I want, yeah, Manish.
Okay, Professor Kedar Singh, please.
Yeah. Professor Bajpayee, this very, excellent talk on the NEP 2020, then what is the vision of this NEP? This is not question, this query, how we can implement this, the remote areas, suppose some colleges and some universities also in remote areas. So then this is my concern on this.
Professor Singh, you see, this national education policy wants to have one big institution, all 776 colleges. The regional integration is there. So many institutions are to be merged. Within 15 years, there should not be any affiliation system. So I think by way of policy only, government shall have to come forward And processing what's happening that so many state government is not coming forward to take this national education policy at the ground level. That's a creating problem. If the education minister at the center talks to the all chancellor, the governors and chief minister of all states, then they should mold their policy, mold their acts in favor of opening institution at these backward areas, because backward area development is also one of the objective of national policy. Then only it's possible. Otherwise, it's very difficult. Yes, Manish.
Okay, I think Sangeeta ji has raised the hand. Sangeeta
Thank you.
Brashed.
Manish, what is the another receive?
Okay. Okay, fine, sir. All right, sir.
I can take one very small.
Okay, fine, sir. So, Sangeeta ji, do you have any question? Please. Okay.
I think she is not there.
No, sir, I have to unmute him. Fine, Sangeeta, you can speak now. Unmute yourself and speak, please. This will be the last question.
सर जस्ट एक क्वेश्चन था रिगार्डिंग द लैंग्वेज मेनली. अगर हम लोग ये सपोज करके चलते हैं कि हमारे स्टूडेंट्स लोअर क्लासेस में फिजिक्स या साइंस पढ़ लेंगे इन मदर टंग, तो भी उनको फर्दर हायर लेवल पे जाके डॉक्टरेट लेवल पे जाके तो प्रॉब्लम आने ही वाली है, बिकॉज दे हैव टू स्पीक.
संगीता जी आपने अंग्रेजी कब पढ़ना शुरू किया बताइए आप?
सर याद नहीं.
संगीता पाराशर, आप बताइए अंग्रेजी कब से पढ़ना शुरू किया था आपने? बताइए.
हमारी जो एजुकेशन रही है वो 9th ऑनवर्ड
एक छोटा सवाल
साइंस की एजुकेशन मेरी 9th ऑनवर्ड इंग्लिश में रही.
जितने लोग यहाँ बैठे हुए हैं, हम हो, अहलूवालिया जी हो, राम सागर हो, विद्युत खन्ना जी हो, इन सबने 8वीं के बाद अंग्रेजी पढ़ना शुरू की थी.
राइट सर, मैं मानती हूँ, लेकिन हमें अभी तक हिचक तो है.
ये भाव देखिए, ये भाव, मैं बात समझ गया, मेरे जल्दी जाना बैठे हुए हैं. देखिए भाव ये है कि शुरू में जो अंग्रेजी को थोप देते हैं बचपन पर ही, माँ बाप पढ़ में, छत्तीसगढ़ी में, बघेली में, भोजपुरी में, और बच्चा जा रहा है अंग्रेजी में, क्या पढ़ाया जा रहा है उनको पता ही नहीं चल रहा है. घर में होमवर्क मिलता है, उसे अलग ट्यूशन लगाते हैं. उस समस्या को सुलझाने के लिए बताया कि शुरुआती तौर पर बच्चा समझिए अपनी मातृभाषा में पढ़े, उसके बाद में अंग्रेजी में आया, जिसमें पढ़ना पड़े, आगे बढ़ता चला जाए. मैंने अंग्रेजी कर दिया, आपको अंग्रेजी मेरी खराब लगी किसी को क्या? मैं तो 8वीं तक जो हिंदी, मैंने MA भी हिंदी मीडियम में किया था, लेकिन उस बात पढ़. तो लैंग्वेज को कोई समझिए कि हम बंधन नहीं मानेंगे विकास के लिए, लेकिन शुरुआती तौर में जो बच्चे के मस्तिष्क के विकास के लिए आवश्यक होता है, उसमें भाषा को बोझ के रूप में नहीं डालना चाहते हैं. ये राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति का मंतव्य है. ठीक है
जी.
आप मेरा नंबर ले लीजिएगा राम सागर और मनीषी से, और हम लोग बाद में बात करते रहेंगे.
Right, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you for your lecture. And a learning outcome will be according to the aspiration of the student, for which he has to work hard. You have mentioned this one. And there should not be any tension of the exam on the student, so that we can bring out best out of him. And you have connected the macro teaching or macro learning and expectation with the micro aspiration in a beautiful manner. You emphasize in education, national purity should be addressed, and we should be able to create a good human being with education. And degrees are nothing if no moral values are there in the student. And here lies the role of the teacher, who can shape the character of the student to make a good citizen of the country. And under NEP, 3 type of education institution will be there, which will emerge out from all the colleges of all the colleges and university of the country. You have mentioned this one. The outcome is mainly belonging to the generation of knowledge, and the research should be in such a way that it can be the foundation of the policy. And finally, you have said in 2 words, learning outcome is nation building. Thank you for your words, sir. And with this, I invite Dr. Poonam Jain, Secretary, IAPT, as well as the EC member of IAPT RC1, to propose the vote of thanks from our side. Dr. Poonam Jain.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you're audible.
Thank you so much, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I, Poonam Jain, the Executive Council member, IAPT RC1, honored to have the opportunity to give a vote of thanks on this particular day. I start with a beautiful quote. Changes in the education policy is a major way to provide the nation better students, professional, and better human beings. Today, I take the opportunity to put all my gratitude into words. On behalf of the entire IAPT and JNU, I extend my hearty vote of thanks to the eminent speaker, Professor ADN Vajpayee, for accepting our invitation and taking out his precious time to deliver such a wonderful and informative talk. It has been quite motivating and encouraging for the participants as well. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your wide spectrum of knowledge. I thank our respected chief guest, Professor Balaram Pani, the Dean of Colleges, University of Delhi, who graced us with his presence and guidance. Sir, indeed, your words have inspired the audience. I am very much grateful to Professor P.K. Ahluwalia, the President, IAPT, for sharing his views about the various activities conducted by IAPT. I also thank him for his enormous cooperation and guidance in the organization of this lecture series. I extend my special thanks to Professor Kedar Singh, the Dean, Jawaharlal Nehru University, for giving welcome address and express his views about the event. I would also like to acknowledge my gratitude to Professor Vijay Goyal and Dr. Ram Sagar Mishra from School of Physical Sciences, Jawaharlal Nehru University, for introducing the speakers. I also wish to extend my special thanks to all the distinguished speakers present over here. Moreover, I have been fortunate enough to work with a team of very motivated and dedicated members, consist of Professor Kedar Singh, Professor Manish Kashyap, Professor Ram Sagar Mishra, Dr. Ram Prasad Prajapati, Dr. Pavan Kulriya, Dr. Vijay Goyal, Dr. Rekha Ghorpade, Dr. Seema Vath, and Dr. Yogesh Kumar. I extend my sincere thanks to them for their help in organization of this lecture series. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the eminent speakers for giving their time and making this event a huge success. Needless to say, I would also like to extend a big thank you to our audience for sparing their time and patiently listening to the proceeding of the event. I am privileged to have a part of this lecture series and have many more opportunity in the near future too. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Stay safe and stay connected.
Thank you, Dr. Poonam. So with this, we close our lecture series on NEP.
आप सभी को नवदुर्गा की बड़ी बड़ी शुभकामनाएं, आशीर्वाद।
आपको भी सर।
सर सभी को बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं।
Thank you, sir. Same to you, sir.